There's so many of us out there who are so obsessed with success. We're so obsessed with the end game. If we're in a fitness journey, we're obsessed with trying to get our bodies a certain way. And we're not going to rest until we get our bodies to where we want them to be. And there's some of us out there who are seeking success in our businesses and in our professional lives. And we're not going to rest until we get that goal, until we hit that financial goal, until we hit that revenue goal. But there's also a lot of us out there who are so frustrated because we haven't gotten to that end game yet, because we haven't gotten to that body, because we've been putting the hours in at the gym and we come home and we look in the mirror and we don't see those instant gains, or we've been putting the hours in at work or in our business and we haven't gotten the revenue we wanted yet. And there's so many of us who come down on ourselves for that. And we tell ourselves that we're less of a person. We almost, in some ways, we call ourselves failures. We say, I'm a failure. I haven't gotten to where I want to go yet. I can't believe this has been such a long journey and I've gotten so little results. And it's that obsession with the end game that becomes the greatest thorn in our side. The biggest pain we have in our lives is that we haven't gotten that yet. But I think that one of the biggest problems there is that focusing so much on that end game, creating that thorn that's going into our sides, it takes our mind off of what is really important. I've said this before, what's important is the journey. What's important is the work you're doing day to day to get there. What's important is the lessons you're learning through that journey. The things that you're able to perfect because they don't always go right. So you figure out new ways to do them, better ways to do them. And the problem that we all face is that we get scared of this thing called failure. We're scared that we're never going to get to that end game. And that fear keeps us from actually seeing how far we've come. And we build this fear up in our minds so much that we make failure into almost like this character. And it looks like the Grim Reaper. It's got this hood on. It's got a big, huge sickle. And it's staring at us, and it's got these big, red, beady eyes. And when we look in the mirror, we're overshadowed by it, and we can see it. But the problem is that that's a lie. It's a lie that we're telling ourselves. It's a lie that we're telling ourselves because we're so obsessed with that end game, and it's such a pain that we haven't gotten there yet. And the pain is causing the fear, and the fear is causing us to lie to ourselves and tell ourselves that that scary thing, that scary big Grim Reaper thing is failure. But the reality, if you actually look at what failure is, if you actually examine cases of failure, the reality is that failure actually isn't scary. Failure actually is not scary at all. Failure doesn't look like the Grim Reaper. Failure doesn't come charging at you with a sickle and creeps up on you. And the way that failure creeps up on you is through things that don't seem bad at all. You know, those little voices in your head that say, oh, I'm not there yet. Why am I even trying? Or maybe I'll just go watch some TV tonight. Well, I haven't lost that weight yet. Why am I even trying? And maybe I'll go grab some ice cream. Right? My business hasn't. It's been 3 years and my business hasn't been successful. It's time to pack up, and I'm just gonna go get a job right now. Right? I haven't gotten that promotion yet at work. But I'm just gonna stop trying at work. I'm gonna stop. My boss isn't even noticing anyways, so I'm just gonna give up. The reality is that failure looks like a nice fluffy bed, really cushy, and it's telling us, come on, lie down, hang out here for a while. There's gonna be plenty of food for you, be nice and comfortable. And if you look at somebody's life who's actually failed, who actually has never done anything with themselves, who's never learned anything new, who's never tested themselves, you'll see that a lot of them have lived lives of relative comfort. Because I think one of the problems is in our Western society, we don't actually know what hunger is. We don't actually know what poverty is. Right? There might be a lot of us who have less. I've lived out of my car before, but compared to about 75% of the world, probably 80% of the world, me being able to live out of my car is pretty luxurious. I still had access to bathrooms, still had access to showers because I had a gym membership, had access to Starbucks and Wi-Fi. Some people might consider that a paradise, but we here, we don't know what actually being hungry is. And I'm not saying that to down you or to make you feel bad about feeling bad about your life, but I'm saying that if you're in a struggle right now, be thankful for that struggle. The biggest things in my life, having a business, being an online entrepreneur, those all came after pretty big defeats. I had to give up my ownership of Metroflex Gym, which sucked. My ownership of Metroflex Gym in Long Beach. And it sucked at the time. I felt defeated. I felt crushed. My soul was fucking crushed because I helped build that place. But had that never happened, I would have never started a YouTube channel in the first place. I would have never started Warrior Soul. I wouldn't have my podcast. I wouldn't have known the many hundreds of people that I've worked with around the world. Had I not done that, probably wouldn't be with the girl I'm with right now, who's absolutely amazing. So out of that great pain, that horrible defeat, came one of the biggest successes of my life. So if you're going through a defeat right now, if you feel like you're constantly being walked over, my advice is this: stop feeling sorry for yourself. Look at what you've learned. Look at what you've been able to achieve in your mind. Look at how much stronger you've become. If you're not getting the results you want in the gym, look at the amount of discipline you've learned. If you've been consistent in the gym and you've been there day after day, and I talked about this last week, think about those lessons that you've learned. You've committed yourself to something, and you've taken a stance for something you want to do in your life. And remember that failure is not going to come to you because you've been trying. Failure is going to come to you when you stop trying and you decide it's time to sit down and get comfortable. That's all I got for today, guys. If you want to check out more awesome content, check out www.warriorsoulagoge.com. That's AGOGE. I'll put that link in the description box. And check out warriorsoulfitness.com. And for more awesome fitness content, you can check out chrisalbertfitness.com, and I'll be back at you with another video very soon.